enable the unmute so that you can ask directly. Yes, Dr.
As we have already learned from you before about
volume. Just hold on. I'm not able to hear you much. Can you keep the microphone closer?
So 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah.
No, Dr. Darshana, I'm not audible. The volume
Can
is
you hear
low.
me now?
Very low.
Yes,
Sorry,
some internet is.
you're able to hear? I'm not able.
Can you hear me now?
Just hold on, hold on.
McKenzie techniques and all, where we had mentioned that you said initially to differentiate, like if it is flexion, I mean sitting is painful, yeah, then definitely there can be flexion dysfunctions, right? Am I right?
Flexion dysfunction means it is in the position of flexion. Okay?
Right.
If there are other literature, they tell limitation of flexion as flexion dysfunction. Okay?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
either of this you can take it. Okay? But you go ahead with the question.
Yeah, so like if some subject has mainly complaints is like sitting for a prolonged period is painful, okay? Otherwise, like I mean, sitting is also painful and walking is also painful. Yeah. So then in that case, like how do we go about, like I mean, like assessment wise also and further treatment wise also?
So first and foremost, whenever pain is there in multiple directions, as always, the principle of physical examination also, you might have seen in the videos, it is which one is most painful, okay? In turn, not just the intensity, distribution of symptoms.
Right.
If it is peripheralizing or centralizing, okay? Movement can be in different directions, it can pain if there is instability, okay? Multi-directional instability, okay? So it can come. Or even systemic disorders, ankylosing spondylitis, it has affected the spine, it will limit the range in all the directions, okay? In spasm also, all the directions it will pain, okay? So spasm will not allow any kind of an active movement in any direction. Central sensitization also will cause pain in all directions, okay? So when you are doing this step by step, you will know that you are ruling out, okay? So that is how I have structured this and I have given you the description now, okay? So beyond that, if you want to see relating it to history, ask them which is most difficult, okay? If the person is not able to walk or with pain they are able to walk, but with pain they are not able to sit, okay? You know that sitting is more priority, okay? Because after a point of time, even flexion will start affecting the extension, okay? It's all the same tissues. So we are trying to see which one is affected when we are not getting a clear picture. If it is multidirectional, we have the clue. First central sensitization I rule out. Next I rule out the instability. Next I rule out which one is maximum. Okay, the range wise which is limited more. The response. Okay, the painful response, the distribution, centralization or peripheralization. If there is directional preference. In some patients whom you do not have directional preference, okay, they will have pain in all the directions. It can be there. Okay, an extrusion with a spasm or chronic extrusion with a central sensitization can always occur. Okay? So that situations, your goal will be going in different directions, not the mechanical one. Okay. So when kinematics also multidirectionally, if the instability is present, your goal will go to stability program first. After that, you will go into functional demand based conditioning. Okay. So you will not go structurally, okay, as mechanical, biomechanical approach. You will go into a functional approach, which happens in sports or work-related low back pain, okay, where there is no specific one. Okay, it's a non-specific low back pain. In that situation, if multiple directions, no clear picture, and you see that it is in end range, okay, end range of flexion, end range of lateral flexion, then Edwards concept is indicated, okay, because you have to combine that in the end range and then you have to explore further, okay. So that's why multiple movements are painful, then you have to try to see combination. Okay.
Right.
And then next one, after the Edwards concept is in the end range only, but you are having in one direction and you are also having in another direction in the end range. You should do arthromyoneural manual therapy. Okay. So because there is muscle activation which is producing one side, muscle lengthening producing another side, okay,
Right.
or neural or myofascial, if they are involved together, that is also called as irregular pattern in the Edwards concept. Okay.
Right.
So that again, if the symptoms are present in end range and it is non-irritable, you will do the AM and MT. Okay. Differentiate in combination. Okay. Different sequence of examination. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
either way, you should get a picture in individual. If you don't get an individual, combine. In combination, in end range or maintaining after some time, then the symptom is getting produced, like athletes. Do AM and MT. Okay. And in the initial stage, you are getting spasm, immediately go for differentiating instability versus central sensitization. Okay. You are giving reciprocal inhibition, but the spasm is not reducing. Okay. Means peripherally, it is not responding. So immediately go to motor control and see. Okay. If that is also not helping, then go to a rigid tape and see. If rigid tape, if that is also not helping, okay, immediately go to central mechanism. That's why first treat the brain, and after that you will find the symptoms will become more specific. Okay, it will be easier to understand for you. Okay, whenever there is a mixed picture or a extended picture which is conflicting and confusing. Even beyond this, if you still have after trial, okay, you are giving 5 minutes of brain training, after that also still you are having symptoms, I would suggest go for visceral examination. Okay, so you either do a visceral manipulation assessment, okay, see for visceral structures, because visceral structures are the peritoneal fascia and the ligaments which are attached to spleen, liver, intestines, okay, and bladder. Any of them can be in a strain, okay. It can be after an abdominal surgery or after a visceral disorder, or even now it might be the first onset also. Okay. Even then also visceral symptoms also, they'll be painful in multiple directions, or they can be painful at rest also. Okay. If it is mechanical problem of viscera, it will be painful in all the directions. If it is inflammatory problem of viscera, it will be painful specific to that action. Like after food, then I am having back pain or lateral abdominal pain. You can suspect intestinal. Okay. If it is 2 hours. So if it is within that, you can suspect 1 hour, then you can suspect it's from the stomach. Okay. So visceral manipulation is another angle. You can palpate the abdomen. You can go ahead with the steps and see whether release of the viscera or lifting the structures. After that, the movement direction, whether it is becoming specific. Okay. So you can have that parallel perspective also. Okay. Although I mentioned this in the initial part of the beginning of the session, okay, I did not show visceral here because visceral practical, it's a separate demonstration session. But it's good that you brought it out, okay, and so that we can have a multidimensional perspective, okay, to differentiate. Okay.
Thank you, sir. And thank you to Gautam also.
I should thank you for asking questions. Okay. Don't thank me for answers. Physical therapist, when we manage low back pain, if a challenging patient with low back pain comes, okay, and we are unable to diagnose or it went for an extended refractory course, okay, in clinical practice, you are not able to get the picture. Suddenly the patient goes for loss of follow-up, okay, they don't come back at all, okay, then that gets registered, okay. After that, next patient, after 3-4 months, okay, another patient, you are getting a similar behavior of symptoms, okay, you will develop hypervigilance, okay, same like that unsolved patient, similar behavior is there, okay. So automatically you will start being very, very avoiding many of the procedures. Your thinking process will get changed, okay, and then you will end up giving it to some other subordinate, okay. This is commonly that happens. Okay, central sensitization happens in therapist also. Okay, so the previous experiences, how it builds. So the previous patient might have shouted and they fought and then they left. So you will feel that this subject is also talking the same like that. Okay, so better I will limit. Okay, give the passive treatment and go. Okay, so remember that exploring or being an adventurous attitude comes when you are upgrading yourself. Okay, we are having a situation here, yes, online. Okay, you are able to get a better picture. You will get more confidence when directly you are doing anything. Okay, the technique, supporting. See, I was individualizing the assessment when Gautam had some difficulties. I kept the stool. Okay, so I should respect the patient's symptoms, although I am demonstrating. Okay, every subject is not normal. Okay, including me. Okay, so we are all subclinical. Okay, so anytime I can become clinical. Okay, when the symptom comes. So I'm asymptomatic. Okay, so make sure that you also respect the same when you are practicing on your healthy model. Okay, and see on yourself. Okay, first when you do all these things, because you should be able to demonstrate to the subject. And the next thing is, of course, having an assistant beside you. Okay, so that they can help you with the added forces. Okay, added directions of movements. They can always help, especially AM and MT. You need an assistant. It's easier. Okay, so even AOMPT, why we are telling about the clinic registration? Okay, because person who is heading the clinic, person who has employee, all of them are members of AOMPT. So they all learn together. They can practice together. Okay, so within your clinic, all 5 people, all of you are trained in a particular level. It's better and easier for you to manage. Okay, you need not be sitting there in the clinic always. You can just keep a CCTV camera for the cash counter alone. Okay, because you can't trust anyone for cash. Okay, otherwise the rest of the things you can be like happy. You can become what is called as a self-employed boss to entrepreneur. Okay, entrepreneur means you are not in the clinic, still the clinic is working, still they are able to earn the money. Okay, where you are not working for money, money starts working for you. Okay, so you're shifting to a next level. So that's when that happens, when you empower the team. Okay, when you make sure that everybody is adequate level of knowledge and skill. But most of the times the head therapist feels that I am the chief consultant. Okay, patient should wait for me. Okay, patient should ask for me always. Okay, every day I do something which is an expert technique. I just do 2-3 minutes, and rest of it assistants are doing. So I have such a picture in clinics. If that is the case, you are only a business model. You are not a clinician or an entrepreneur. Okay, the entrepreneur, the bigger level. Okay, and in your absence, nothing will happen in the clinic. And if your subordinates produce an adverse event also, you will be blamed. Okay, so remember that ultimately you are taking all the credit, you will also take the blame. Okay, internally you can put it on your subordinate, but patient will tell you are the boss, you have to take it. Okay, so always remember, that's when the team learning, it helps online learning, especially when you have another colleague of yours learning this, then definitely your practice will become better. Okay, when you practice on each other. Of course, lockdown has created huge challenges. When I was giving my lecture on this central sensitization and pain neuroscience education yesterday, I emphasized that hands-off treatment. Okay, so patient education, imagery, all these are very safe treatments to treat pain. Okay, because we are treating the brain, we are not touching the patient. Okay, we are just talking. We are understanding the problem. We are changing their understanding about pain. So upgrading our skills into that direction will definitely help. Unfortunately, when I announced that central sensitization and pain neuroscience education webinar also, I did not get much response from our therapist. Okay, for registration itself, only 3 people registered. Okay, that one Sunday when I announced. So remember, our physios is not responding. It is the same situation globally. Okay, all the physios are concentrating on peripheral. Okay. As much as we don't treat the brain, the learning effect of exercise also will not be there. You may be explaining something, patient will be listening, but they'll come back next day and say that I did not remember what you said yesterday. Okay. Or they will tell that they are not able to be sure whether their exercise is correct or not. Why that brain processing is low, the memory is low, the concentration is low, attention span is less. Okay. All this why it comes, because the pain is represented in the brain, those areas are not working. Okay. So remember that unless you treat the brain, you have not treated the patient. Okay. And in low back pain, it's more relevant. In hand also, it is more relevant. Okay. Because largest area of representation is hand. And maximum activities of our daily life gets impaired when there is low back pain. Okay. You are not able to sit, you are not able to walk, you are not able to do any of your activities because low back pain is there. So it's most disabling, functionally limiting, it will get central sensitization. Another one, anatomically represented more, so it will get central sensitization. Rest of it, repeated experience. You have ankle sprain, again ankle sprain, again ankle sprain, central sensitization will come. Okay. So even if there is no uneven surface also, you will be afraid that ankle will twist and eventually it will twist. Okay. So you will be conscious and you will be walking. In between, you will just get a phone call and you are walking, you will get a twist. Okay. Because motor control altered by the brain, it goes to ankle. Lapse of activation, you get peroneal are not at all having eccentric control. So you get a twist. Okay. So it again, it is peripherally happening, but initiated by the brain. There is no laxity of ligament there. Okay. But the brain will come. Okay. So that's why explore central mechanisms and it will be a better venture, justice for patients, because compared to all peripheral treatments, brain-based treatments have proven to be effective in all studies, unanimous, unidirectional. There's not even one study which is telling that it is not effective. Okay. So you can really seriously think about it and see whether it will have any impact or not. Okay. So that skill area also should be explored. Okay. Clear? So we are ready to close the session.